Test, test. All right, we're good. All right, what's up, Twisters? Hey, let's talk about NHL Free Agency because that is literally dropping tomorrow for unrestricted free agents. So for this stream, I have 15 unrestricted free agents, and we want to talk about where we think they're going to end up signing because some of these guys, it just doesn't look like they're going to end up with their club that they were playing for this last year. Lots of other UFAs that we can talk about, trades and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, if you're interested in hanging out with us and talking free agency, well, yeah, you've come to the right place, obviously. So for those of you who are new, I'm Nick. We do live streams weekly, pretty much on this channel at this point, and we put up all sorts of content on the NHL, including content related to free agency. So no matter who you cheer for or how big of a hockey fan you are, we definitely want to have you here on this channel for the offseason and beyond. So please do subscribe and join this great community of fans that we have here. And for those returning, thank you guys so much for being here. And yeah, let's talk some free agency. I moved up this stream a little bit sooner than usual for obvious reasons because, yeah, I mean, this is going to be a pretty big couple of weeks here, or a couple of days. You know, we got Gaudreau, we've got Malkin, we've got Jack Campbell, Nazem Kadri, John Klingberg, all kinds, man. He's going to come to the Metro Division. Yeah, I mean, it's looking more and more likely that he would. Rails, what's going on? Riley, how you doing? I think Palat stays in Tampa. I don't think that I don't think we should rule that out. That could possibly still be a fit for him. It's just that maybe they're trying to figure out like what other pieces they're going to add and subtract because, you know, they brought in some veterans last year, like guys like Belmar and Corey Perry. So now it's kind of like, how do they augment the current roster that they have and then see how much room they have for Palat? So perhaps that's what it could be. Nick, how you doing, dude? Congratulations on the career of Duncan Keith, of course. You're thinking Johnny Hockey to Vegas or Carolina? Carolina would be interesting, but I think they're pretty strong at the winger position. So I personally don't see them trying to upgrade in that respect. If anything, they should be upgrading at the center position. We'll talk about all these guys in just a minute. So the way that I'll do this is we'll start in just a few minutes, but I will throw up a poll for each player. So the first poll that we're going to run in just a minute is going to be Johnny Gaudreau because he's the biggest fish here, right? And then the second one we'll do is Evgeni Malkin, and then we'll continue. We got Kadri, and we have a total of 15 players who I have photos of, and then we can talk about other free agents after that as well. Why are you sad, Hunter? I am troubled to hear this. Johnny Hockey to the Kraken? Hey, that was one that I heard is like a real long shot, but Kraken are going to have some cap space to play with. So does Johnny Hockey think that he can still be in his prime when that team is competing for a Stanley Cup? I don't know. I think that is a little bit of a stretch given some of the other options he has out there. Gaudreau to the Sharks. I will wet myself if Gaudreau signs with us, but I'm kind of tired of us giving out these albatross contracts because, you know, the guy apparently is asking for at least like $10 million, and he didn't really do all that much in the playoffs for the Flames. So, Zach, how you doing, man? Kane going to the Oilers. Ooh. Kane to the Oilers. Oh, you mean on Patrick Kane instead of Evander Kane? Dude, I think his contract would be too big if they want to still, you know, afford a good goaltender. So I can't see it happening. At least I don't think I can. Gaudreau's gone. I mean, not entirely certain, right? But yeah, I do think he probably is on the move. Alex, how you doing? David, what's going on? Wow, we got lots of people here already. Fantastic. That's what we love to see here. The Blackhawks are falling apart. Well, hey, the night is always darkest before the dawn. I mean, look at how many other teams had to go through a dramatic rebuild. The Rangers had to do it a few years ago. They just leaned right into it. The Ducks are going through a rebuild. They've missed the playoffs the last 3 years, but I think that the future could be really bright for them. The Kings had to rebuild for a couple of seasons. So it happens to pretty much everybody. I mean, look, Pittsburgh, not every team is the Pittsburgh Penguins, and they're going to be certainly feeling it this upcoming season, considering they won't have Malkin. Then again, I have to kind of scratch my head a little bit at the fact that they signed Raquel for 5 years. I don't know about that. Oscar, Gonzalo, welcome, guys. Kemper to the Caps. Yeah, we'll get to Darcy Kemper on this list as well, but that seems to be the most popular sort of fit for him. Jersey, Gaudreau and Jersey. I mean, they have the cap. I mean, if I'm Jersey though, I should be more concerned about what my defense looks like going into next year. They just got Vanacek to play with Blackwood. I'm not sold on that tandem, honestly, and I like both guys. It's just that they haven't proven that either of them can be a number one goaltender in this NHL. I don't think. So let's see here. What are we at on time right now? We're at 6:03. All right, let's wait until we get, let's see. I think we can get to at least like 25, if not 30 people before we get to our polls here. So yeah, we'll definitely go through all the big name players, and we can talk about some other guys down the road as well. Any Habs news today? Not that I know of. I've been checking Twitter fairly regularly today, but for Montreal, not that I know of. Victoria, what's going on? He ain't coming back. The bench of the Hawks is empty as F. Yeah, really, that's for sure. Kubalik is gone. Traded DeBrincat. Traded Doc. I mean, they might as well move on from Kane and Taves. Especially Taves, I would think. How you doing, Samantha? A great second center. Malkin or Trocheck. That would be hilarious if Trocheck and Marchand played on the same line together. But they got to come to terms with Bergeron. It seems like they're in discussion with David Krejci, although he's a little bit older, so maybe he would be a third line center at this point. Oh, no kidding. Right on. Well, congratulations. Is Pasta on the move? The David Pastrnak chatter has really died down a lot over the last couple of weeks because I haven't heard a damn thing. What's going on? Montreal and Winnipeg are working on a Pierre-Luc Dubois deal? To send Dubois over to Montreal. Interesting. I mean, I assume that he's Quebecois, so maybe he'll kind of experience a resurgence somewhere else. And he's got plenty of time to grow. It's just that, I haven't been completely sold. Zelda. Oh, that's a great name. That's an excellent name for a cat. Sad to see Malkin leaving, and optimistic about Raquel. Interesting. I can't say that I am for the term that they gave him. They got Rodriguez, of course, to still worry about as well. That's a guy who's kind of gotten lost in the shuffle there. But can they still be a playoff caliber team next year? It's a tough division, but I mean, I think that they'll still be, certainly in that conversation, even if they lost Gino. You know how Mike Sullivan has done with injuries and absences in his last 3 years with the team. So you got to give credit where it's due for sure. Greer, let's go of Dahlin and Balsers. Yeah. So Dahlin, he certainly started the season strongly for the Sharks, but he did tail off quite a bit. So, as the season went along, I certainly noticed him less because he was getting a lot less ice time. So I was never super high on him. I mean, he's 24 years old, so he could still be an NHLer, a regular, but not for the role that the Sharks wanted him to potentially grow into. And Balsers, it kind of sucks, but I think that we freed up $1.5 million in cap, so that's pretty good for us, I have to say. I don't know what they're going to try to do with that, but I mean, my mind is all on the Brent Burns situation because things are really starting to heat up. He could be traded potentially to the Stars or the Hurricanes. I mean, Brent Burns on the blue line with Jacob Slavin would be so lethal. Just think about how Slavin was the perfect complement for Tony DeAngelo. I would absolutely be thrilled to see that. I'd probably vault the Hurricanes to my second favorite team if that's the case. Rodriguez back? Yeah. He again, somebody who definitely doesn't get talked about enough. You bet careful what you wish for there, Gonzalo. Yeah, Shane Wright to the Kraken. So they got their 2 franchise centers. That's incredibly fortunate for them. And for them, I'm very curious to see what things look like for goaltending for this next year because they have a new goaltending coach. So I hope that works out. Nick Paul. Oh yeah. I mean, that's a hell of a lot of term, but at that cap hit for a guy who could even slide up to your second center, didn't he play some second line in the playoffs, right? In absence of point, and he performed very well for them. There were times when they weren't exactly at their best, but Paul I thought was always among the best forwards in those situations. Do I drink beer? Is the nectar of the gods, David. But I didn't crack one open for the stream here. I've been going with the replenisher here. It's hot, so gotta make sure I got my Powerade. All right, guys. So very lively chat so far. Thank you guys so much already. This is just what I was hoping for. So here's what we're gonna do. To your friend Braden, he's a fan. All right. Well, hi, Braden. Welcome-ish. And hope you're enjoying the off-season. It's only a couple months away until the puck drops in October. And I will be there when the puck drops in October, guys, because I am going to Prague to see the Sharks battle the Nashville Predators for both of those games. Okay, so here's what we're going to do, guys. We've got 15 UFAs, and we can stretch this out more, perhaps, but I've got photos of 15 guys. You see Evgeni Malkin here, Kadri, Giroux, Campbell, so on and so forth. So I'm going to run a poll here for each player. We're going to do one at a time because that's how YouTube works. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a poll here. So I'll just type in Johnny Gaudreau. Okay. And so we'll have 4 options. All right. And then, so here, I'll show you how it works in just a second. Just let me do a little typing here. So, comment if he, Johnny Gaudreau. So, stays with the Flames. Does he go to the Devils? Does he go to the Flyers? Or does he go somewhere else? All right, guys. So here's how we're going to do it. I wanted to pick, I wanted to have more options here, 1 or 2 more options. But here's our poll. So this is how we're going to gauge the community here. So what do you guys think? Check out our poll that I just threw up. Where does Johnny Gaudreau sign? So there we go. We already got a vote for the Devils. So cast your vote. Does he stay with the Flames? Does he go to the New Jersey Devils? That seems to be one of the front runners. Does he go to the Philadelphia Flyers? He's from the Philadelphia area. Or does he land somewhere else? And if that's the case, post it in the chat, okay? Gaudreau was certainly in the Hart Trophy conversation. Are we voting on what we think or what we want? What you think? Good question. Let's try to make a prediction. You can tell me in the chat, though, where you want him to go. I want to get everybody's votes here. So where do you guys think Johnny Gaudreau is going to go? And so far, y'all are pretty convinced that he goes to the New Jersey Devils. Rangers, says Michael. Yeah, the Rangers are certainly a team that's been mentioned. Even the Islanders, for that matter. But yeah, what do you guys think? We've got 20 here in the chat, and we've got 16 votes. Do we have any more votes? Of course, you can only guess once. For each player, that is. Just give it just a skosh more time, eh? What Ottawa does in the free agency market? Well, yeah, they just got Cam Talbot, which I don't understand what the hell Garen's thinking. Talbot and Kakinen is a better tandem than Fleury and whoever the other guy was who got sent to Minnesota. Fleury did not have a good year. Talbot should have started in the playoffs. I don't know. He announced he wasn't going to return to Calgary. Well, so for every player, we're going to just include their former club just as kind of a safety net. So, you don't know. All right, so we've got what? We've got 18 votes. All right. So from the looks of it, y'all are pretty convinced that Johnny Gaudreau will sign with the New Jersey Devils. I don't know if I believe that. I think they have, obviously, the cap for him, but I don't know if he's going to be buying into what they have over there. As I said, I think they've got a couple of gaps with defense right now. Doesn't mean that they won't once Hughes and, they also got Nemitz, right? That was their other defenseman, a Slovak. But I don't know if he's completely sold and playing under Lindy Ruff like that. So this sounds strange, but I've got a bit of a suspicion that Gaudreau is actually going to sign with the Islanders. Not too many people are talking about that right now, but they've freed up some cap space. I think they need more scoring punch, and Gaudreau is a great guy out there to play with a couple of the players who are still in the prime of their career. So I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to say that Gaudreau goes to the... Oh, no, this is not the real free agency. No, this is just our predictions. I'm going to say Gaudreau ends up with the Islanders, but I'm just going to record our results here so maybe I can share them afterwards with the community. So Gaudreau, you guys got Devils, and I'm saying the Islanders for myself. All right. So we're going to close the poll. So free agency starts tomorrow. I think, at 9 Pacific, 12 Eastern, something like that, right? All right, so that was our first player. So half of you in our poll elect Gaudreau to go to... Okay, we actually did end up with 23 votes. Right on. All right. Now, our next player, you'll have to give me a sec while I really don't know where... what options to put here for this guy. Because I haven't seen, the most concrete... Interesting. Okay. I'm going to try... Yeah, I'll do this. Bill said, you said Flyers? You guys weren't too high on Philly overall. All right. So, our next player is Evgeni Malkin. So, where do you guys think that Gino signs after he's been passed up so that the Penguins can get the Letang deal done and also the Ricard Raquel deal? So, vote in the poll. Boston. Yeah. That's interesting. I've heard a variety of teams. I've heard potential landing spots. Boston's another one. The Stars were an interesting one, I thought, as well. Malkin to LA. I don't think that they need him because they've got Dino and Kopitar, so I don't think they're trying to get any more seasoned at center there. Washington, Rangers, Panthers. Interesting. Some people even said that Malkin could be a fit for the Avalanche. But then again, wouldn't he get he would get a similar deal as Kadri, just a year or two less, right? So, what do you guys seem to think so far? Oh, somewhere else. All right, so far you guys actually think that he's going to end up somewhere else. To the Capitals? Yeah, Dark Hawkeye, I was kind of thinking the same thing too. Unless the Capitals aren't very optimistic about Backstrom's return, I would think that if they wanted Malkin, they would try to they would have to maybe move out Kuznetsov. Hey, Evan, you could be right, man. You could be right. Vancouver, interesting. Honestly, I haven't heard that much about Vancouver as being big buyers during free agency. The Wild? Oh man, I would be stunned if the Wild freed up cap to sign him. Because I don't think they have it at all. No. Rangers can't afford him. Yeah, that was my argument as well. They have a ton of other players that they haven't signed, right? Strome and Kopp are two centers, or Kopp can play wing, but they've left them on the table. They've also they've got what? No, is Keandre Miller? No. I think he's next year, but they have some other players too, like Tyler Mott's a UFA. Rangers and Islanders would push for Kadri. Interesting. Interesting. All right, so what I see here is we've got 48% saying that he's going to go somewhere else. So let's see what you guys got for this anyway. So we had Boston, Ducks. Interesting, Cody. I think that they're maybe another year away from being like a possible playoff team. Washington. Oh, okay. Washington, Rangers, Panthers. Interesting. Florida. You guys are all over the place with this, and then that's cool. Like I'm a trade rumor with Kane and the Oilers. Well, with Patrick Kane, yeah, I don't see them getting that deal done because they would need to actually like get somebody moving the other way who has that cap. I could see that happening if the Oilers maybe sent some draft picks over to Chicago, which kind of makes sense, but I don't know, bud. I don't know. Malkin and McDavid, Detroit, man. Wow, you guys have got it all covered basically. Interesting. I mean, I think that the most common team that you're selecting here is Washington, but that's by the slimmest of margins here. Damn. The Rangers are out on Cop. I wonder if they can keep Vetrano still, because he'll be had at a much less deal. Seattle. Oh, wow, lots of great questions and comments here. Johnny Gaudreau with the Senators. I haven't actually heard about Gaudreau possibly with the Senators. I think they're pretty loaded, yeah, with the young forward group that they have now. All right, well, anyway, so 46% of you have Malkin going to somewhere else that I didn't mention. So I think it's pretty much a wash, man. I don't know where do I see Evgeni Malkin signing? I have no idea. I even though the Rangers don't really have the cap space, I mean, they could sign him, but they'd be losing a bunch of other players. I don't know, man. I think that's probably where he wants to go. So I'll throw it up there and say that he goes to the Rangers. Okay. Let's see here. Our next player. So we're going to close the poll. All right. All right, just a sec. Oh, yeah. Now we'll talk Kadri. All right, where does Kadri end up? Is there any way in hell he stays with the Avalanche? Let's see. We've got, what were some of the other like popular ones? I don't know. I saw some possibility about him going to the Red Wings. $7 by 7.5 for Klingberg. Yeah, that to me that's too steep. That's too much term. I mean, I think the cap hits too much as well, but that's more forgiving. The term is really what comes back to sting. Okay, let's see here. What are we gonna roll with here? Calgary for Kadri. Interesting. You know what? Screw it. Here. I wish they would give me more than just 4 choices here. Yeah? All right. You guys have me convinced. I'll put the Flames as one of our backups here. All right. Those are false rumors on Kane to the Rangers. Yeah, I mean, if anything, it's got to be center where they're upgrading. So, what about Nazem Kadri, guys? It's going to be a big one. Well, he is don't forget, guys, he is 31 years old, so he might not get like he might get 5 or 6 years. I don't see him getting like maxed out entirely. I don't see him getting that 7th year, frankly. All right, now. The Avs are the sleeper to get him back. Interesting. Yeah, a couple of you guys are saying that. Break the bank before he goes to Detroit. That's a good point. Chicago or Seattle? Kadri to Chicago? I can't see that. I've heard Seattle, though. Did I have a pick on Kadri? Interesting. Okay. By the way, guys, make sure if you're having a good time with us, do show your support with a thumbs up. That helps bring in other hockey fans like yourselves. All right, how many votes do we have so far on this here poll? Oh, interesting. Okay. Shoot, I forgot to put it in. Put this in the poll, but let me know, guys, if you think that he's going to end up somewhere else, if you voted somewhere else, comment in the chat with where you think he's going to go. Kadri to Pittsburgh? Boy, that's I would see him earning just as much though as Malkin will. Maybe not again, and he'll probably have longer term, right? But I just can't see that playing out. News on Dahlin? Yeah, Dahlin's been well, I mean, nobody has expressed any particular interest, but he wasn't qualified, so he's not returning to the Sharks. All right, so what are we ending up with for our final results here, guys? All right, 35% of you actually have him staying with the Avalanche. So by a narrow margin, 26 votes. So 35% and then 31% have him going to a couple other places. So I'll close the poll in just a moment here, but I'll take a look at some of these responses here. A couple of you had thought maybe he could actually be a fit for the Flames. That's interesting. I don't see that as impossible by chance. To the Blues. Red Wings, Chicago, Seattle, Islanders for Kadri. Okay. I got to look at their center depth, but I said the Islanders might be the fit for Gaudreau, strangely. Giroux is coming home. Oh, yeah, we'll ask about that in just a moment. Kadri to LA. I don't see him fitting in LA because they already have Kopitar and Danault, so I just don't think that they need more depth at center per se. Kadri and Palat in Detroit. Oof, man, that would be fire. All right, so you guys have the Avalanche in as the winner of this poll, and I actually am also picking Nazem Kadri to stay with the Avalanche. So yeah, we'll get with the next result or the next one up in just a second, and it is Claude Giroux. So where does Giroux go? Free agency is hard to predict. Oh, absolutely. That's why it's fun to just kind of throw up a guess, and you'll get most of them wrong, but the one time you're right, it's going to be fun. At least that's kind of how it is for me. Okay, so Claude Giroux. All right, where does this guy end up? So I've heard the Senators, obviously, is kind of the main suitor. I've got a lingering suspicion he could go somewhere else, though. So let me just add in a couple options here. So does Giroux stay with the Panthers? Do they find some way to get something done? Does he go to the Senators? Does he go to... I have a strange take that maybe... I didn't really know, besides the Senators, who another suitor would be out there. I put the Oilers. I think that this guy could potentially be kind of like the right wing of Vander Kane for this. Montreal, interesting. Grenadine, welcome to the stream. Thanks for hopping in here. The man that made you love hockey. Interesting. Everybody's got one, yeah? 42% already jumping on that. He goes back home to Philadelphia. Yeah, but then what's he really playing for then? He'd look good in Dallas? Yeah. Yeah, that's actually that's a good take. That's actually a pretty good take. I could see that. Columbus, yeah. Columbus is going to be a really interesting team to watch next year. I think they could almost get their way back into the playoffs. Giroux to the Kings? I think their top 6 is pretty set now, right? You got the Kopitar line, right? Iafallo and Kempe. There we go. God, what a deal that was, by the way. $5.5 million for 4 years for Kempe. That was a great deal. And their second line is what? Deno and Fiala. Fiala plays, I think, right wing, even though he's a left-hand shot. So I don't know if I see Giroux fitting in with the Kings necessarily. 50% of you, though, have Giroux moving on to the Senators. Brent Burns will be a Dallas star at the start of the season. I think that makes the most sense. Although I think Carolina would be a great fit for him as well. Giroux to the Senators. Or the Sharks. The Sharks do need a right-handed goal scorer, so who knows? That's a wild card. I won't forget that. Vegas is your sleeper team along with Arizona. Really, Arizona, huh? I can't I can't put any money on them. They played better than I thought they would last year, though. All right, we got 24 votes for this Claude Giroux. Anybody else want to put in their 2 cents for this? DeBrincat with Stützle and Giroux. Yeah, that's pretty money, isn't it? To the Wild. Yeah, I think the Wild are going to be pretty much up against it cap-wise. The Sharks need to focus on rebuilding. Yeah. I mean, God, at least, even though a lot of people are groaning about some of the changes that Greer's making, he's making some changes, though. So we'll see how it fits, eh? All right, cool. So we've got 50% of you saying that Claude Giroux is going to the Senators. I strangely have this suspicion that he'll sign with the Oilers. Because they always seem to think that they're just one piece away from winning the Stanley Cup. Who wants to go to Arizona? Actually, Logan Cooley wanted to go to Arizona. He was pretty stoked about it. All right. So 52% of you. All right. All right, our next guy is going to be, what, do we have a goaltender yet? Yeah, Jackie Campbell. All right. There's only two other teams that make sense, or at least have been getting buzz in this, goaltender market. So let's see here. I'm going to strangely say, though, that Giroux goes there. All right. So does Campbell somehow stay with the Toronto Maple Leafs? Does he go to the Oilers? Does he go to the Capitals? Or does he go somewhere else? All right. Jack Campbell. Edmonton is basically confirmed for Campbell. Yeah, it looks that way, doesn't it? Damn. Already 83%. Seattle for Campbell. Dark Hawkeye, I think that they have a ton of money tied up in Grubauer and Drieger. I think that they want to try to see how they play, with a new goaltending coach. So even though they need the help, I don't know how big Campbell is an upgrade over those other two goaltenders, even because we just saw them for 1 year. I don't know. Columbus with Merzlikins, they'd have to let Korpisalo go, which I don't think that many fans would be upset about. Campbell could go to Buffalo. Interesting. I'd like to see that. I'd like to see that. Buffalo. That sounds like a fun place. Really? Blackhawks for Jack Campbell. I don't see it. I think that they just want to, they don't want to bring on a player who expects to be in the win now mode. Campbell to Vancouver? Boy. Yeah, I mean, do they need a backup goaltender? I mean, as I will always say on my streams going forward, Demko for Vezina next year. He'll be a finalist. Very convinced he will be. All right, so let's see here. How is our poll doing, guys? So 50% of you have him going to the Oilers. It's fairly convincing. That's 18 votes, but I think we've got some people who need to cast a vote still. Everybody vote. Everybody. Blackhawks also just got Mrazek. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they could roll with Mrazek and Lankinen, right? I don't think they're going to try to do anything different about that. Oilers have 2 goaltenders. One of them would be moved out. Yeah, well, the idea is that Mike Smith might be put on IR because he was injured at the end of the playoffs there. Campbell to the Capitals. Well, it's either going to be him or one other goaltender. Man, I had dinner before this stream, and already I'm a wee bit peckish. I am. All right. 26 votes. Okay, so 54% of you say that Campbell ends up with the Oilers. And you know what? I also agree. So I've got not only Campbell going to the Oilers, but I'm also going to say that Claude Giroux goes to the Oilers. Stranger things have happened. Actually, it has been happening recently because of Season 4, the second part being released. All right. He would need to be placed on IR soon. I don't know when the deadline for that would be, but that's my belief. I think that they'll probably do that with him. All right, let's see here. We got one more coming in. All right, so we just talked about, of course, one of the 2 biggest goaltenders in free agency. The other guy, as you can see on my screen here, is Stanley Cup champion and Spokane Chief alumnus Darcy Kuemper. Oh wait, shoot, wait, hold up. I accidentally hit the pull button. Let's try that out. Darcy Kuemper, yes or no? No, wait, hold on. Here, I'll redo it. Come on, YouTube. There we go. 1 vote. Thank you to whoever voted. You're a gem. All right, here we go. Let's try that again, Nick. Darcy Kuemper. Okay, don't click the blue button, Nick. I know you're very tempted to. I literally have to click a blue button in my day job, by the way. All right, does Darcy Kuemper somehow, even though I don't think it's going to happen, does he stay with the Avalanche? The other two, it's basically the same as last one, right? Except I'll put the Capitals ahead of the Oilers. San Jose for Darcy Kuemper. The thing is that the Sharks already have 3 goaltenders. They have Kaapo Kähkönen, who they have to re-sign. Shoot. Have we not re-signed Kähkönen? I don't know if we have. I think we want to keep him. We have James Reimer, although apparently the Maple Leafs have interest in Reimer, which is odd considering we were talking about... well, then again, yeah, they have Matt Murray, so it could be Murray and Reimer for them. And then the Sharks also still have Aiden Hill, so I don't think that's going to happen either. All right. What are we looking at here so far? Reims to Toronto, boom. I hope so. I wouldn't mind that, but the Sharks have to get good value because Reimer had an amazing. The numbers might not necessarily indicate it, but he played magnificent last year. He carried that team on his back for many games, and just got run into the ground. I think he was played way too much. Basically confirmed that Kuemper is going to go to the Capitals. Yeah, I think that's probably what happens, right? They put Nicholas Backstrom is on LTIR? Really? I didn't think that he was. You're probably right, because he's saying that he's optimistic that he's going to come back next year, but there was never a timetable for that. So I guess they could have him on LTIR. But thank you for helping my understanding of that, of course. Would be really interesting if somebody like Claude Giroux did end up signing there, or even, like, I don't know, Kadri or something. Because you'd still have Kuznetsov as your one center, and then second would probably be, one of those guys. Darcy Kuemper, Canadiens. Interesting. I guess they probably do need another goaltender, unless they want to go with, like, what? Jake Allen and Sam Montembeault? And some of you think that Kuemper will stay with the Avalanche, huh? He'll be on LTIR just basically until he's ready to return. Okay. Cool. James Reimer is a Toronto Maple Leaf if he's not a San Jose Shark. The Sharks and the Leafs have a great history of trades. No way that Darcy stays with Colorado. Sakic on the draft floor was basically channeling that Kemper's not coming back. About the Leafs looking into Reimer. Yeah. Jersey for Darcy Kuemper. I wouldn't mind that, but they just got Vanacek and they already have Blackwood. So I don't... If they were, like, already in a cup contention window, I could maybe see this happening, but I don't think so. The Bruins would be a good fit. Swayman, and they've got Ullmark, right? I don't really think that they need anybody else in addition to them. These are just my thoughts, though. Lehner. Yeah, I was surprised about that too, Nick. Although, I don't know if he had any beef with, like, DeBoer, which you would think that there might be some. But, DeBoer's out. So maybe somebody sat him down. Maybe McCrimmon sat down Lehner and he said, hey, we're going to bring in somebody new behind the bench. And so we're going to make sure that, safety first, basically. So maybe that's the case. Sakic already said he's gone. Yeah, basically so. But like I said, every player's former team is going to get in the poll, though. Awesome. We got 41 people tuning in. Thank you guys so much for being here. This is dope. I hope that maybe I can put out a video or two on, like, big free agency signings as well. So you can always hit the notification bell. That way you know when I upload content to my channel or when I go live. So right now we've got 29 votes, and the results are in for Darcy Kuemper going to the Capitals. And yeah, I also will go with that. I'm a little surprised that Kemper's not going to stay west, but if I would have thought that maybe Kuemper would have gone to the Oilers and that Campbell would have gone to the Capitals instead. But it seems pretty cut and dry right now that it's the other way around. So anyway, hey Joey, what's going on, man? No Wild, no Blues. Yeah, the Knights need a backup goaltender as well. That's a good pick. And the Blues, yeah, they need somebody to fill in for Husso. Good pick. Stars? How many the Stars have a bunch of goaltenders, though, don't they? Well, they got to sign Ottinger. Holtby's a UFA. And I guess Hudobin's, like, forever in the minors. So, hey. But they re-signed Wedgwood. That was kind of a low-key signing a week or two ago. So that's why he hasn't been talked about as much. Hey, how about John Klingberg? I think I have a feeling I know where this guy's going. Possibly. John Klingberg. This guy. Okay. All right, everybody. Holtby might retire. He's not going to play this season? Oh, wow. Is it just because of injury? All right, guys. Where do you think John Klingberg is going to end up? Darcy's the next Grubauer? I hope not. Hey, he signed. Maybe he'll sign in Washington. And Grubauer was awesome with the Capitals. But I don't close the book just yet on Grubauer. He's only like 29 years old. So I like to stay optimistic here. Especially when a Seattle Kraken fan like Egginator has entered the chat. What's going on, man? It'll be interesting, man. Will Ron Francis be a bit of a buyer at free agency? San Jose for Klingberg? You mean if they trade out Burns? God, I hope not. Canes? O'Reilly, you don't have to worry about Klingberg signing in Vegas. He's too high of a price, I think, and you guys got a lot of money tied up on your defenseman. All right, David, thanks for hopping in here, man. Say Seattle for everybody. Fine. Kings? You know, that was, I think, something that might have been brought up on 32 Thoughts yesterday. I'm not entirely sure if they were talking about Klingberg in this context, but they do need support on the right side because I don't think they've re-signed Stetcher. Stetcher played really well for them too, but they've got, they got Doughty and they've got Dursey. So do they need another puck-moving defenseman? I don't think so. I don't think Klingberg's the best fit for LA necessarily. They could maybe use a little bit more help on the left side if they want a puck mover. Panthers if Giroux leaves. Oh, Klingberg to the... Oh, God. With Uyghur and Ekblad. Oh, dude. That would not be a fit. Islanders. That's not a bad guess. How do you vote on mobile? I don't know. I would think that would be an option, though. Klinger to the Senators. Yeah, that's been also mentioned as well. Good pick, Nick. Good call. Trade Burns and bring back Pavelski. Yeah, but we'd have to bring back Pavs next year. Although, are you saying that you would try to orchestrate a trade for Burns one way, Pavelski the other way? Because we would have to give up more for Pavelski if we wanted to ship out Burns. They need to draft a good defensive prospect. A good take, Allen. I agree with you. Who's their big defensive prospect? Is it that guy who they took way too early in the second round last year? I think it is. I forgot his name. How many votes we got going on here? 27 votes. Okay. Well, we got 40 people tuning in, so I think we can get up to about 30 votes. You think he fits well with Carolina? And yeah, Nick, that's Nick Cruz. That's a good pick as well. The Islanders, they do need, I think, some productivity from the right side. I just don't know if Lamoriello's the kind of guy who wants to roll the dice like that. All right. Riker Evans. Yeah, that's the guy. I don't follow prospects that much, though. So, for all I know, the guy could have already started developing well. All right, so that's 30 votes. I think that's pretty much where we can leave this one. So, 40% of you, I'm actually pretty surprised. So, you've got 40% of you are saying that Klingberg ends up with the Kraken. I think that he'll be signed with the Carolina Hurricanes unless they trade for Brent Burns. Other than that, I think that the Hurricanes should have the cap, especially with a couple guys coming off the books. Domi, Trocheck, and Niederreiter. So they've got all that they want if they want to replace D'Angelo with Klingberg, I think. What time does free agency start? I think it starts at noon Eastern, so like 5 or 6 p.m. Sweden time. Yeah, Nick, hey man, congratulations to you. 4 years. And that's like a very steady, constant 4 years too. So hats off to you, buddy. All right. Yeah, I've got him going to the Hurricanes, though. Unless somehow they orchestrate a trade with the Sharks for Brent Burns. Look, I love Burnsy, but when you love someone, you set them free. So that's what I'm hoping for. Alrighty. Noon Eastern. Okay. Damn. I got to play some hooky from work tomorrow and maybe do another live stream. let's get the super chats going if you guys want another live stream during free agency tomorrow, and maybe I'll play some hooky from work. All right. Oh man, this next one I don't know too much, man. Ricky Rod, yeah, I mean that's gonna be the subject of this next player here, I suppose. All right. All right, next up, we've got ourselves we got Ondrej Palat. Now, I've only heard like one team where he could possibly sign in addition to somewhere else. So I'm actually going to throw up a wild card and say that one of the options is the Anaheim Ducks, because we haven't talked about them just yet. Really like the work that Pat Verbeek is doing early on in his job, though. His tenure. Torsten D'Angelo is going to be interesting. Absolutely. So yeah, Ondrej Palat, or as they say in Czechia, they say Ondrej, like Ondrej Kopitar. It's because the accent over the R or something like that. It's Ondrej. So, but Ondrej, right? Where does Ondrej Palat sign in the offseason? So does he stay with the Tampa Bay Lightning, who, of course, their big signing so far has been Nick Paul. They also traded away Ryan McDonough. Could he possibly end up somewhere else? Maybe the Avalanche, for all I know. The Red Wings were an interesting team to note because Steve Yzerman, when he was general manager with the Lightning, he drafted Palat. Or possibly does he go somewhere else? You can see him reuniting in Detroit. Palat to the Wings. Hey, thank you, Ricky Rod. Hey, can we? And let's also throw it down for Ricky in the chat here. I appreciate the donation, man. Stuff like that, of course, motivates me to keep doing this, right? You don't see Palat leaving Tampa. I mean, he's been such a mainstay for so long. When they played the New York Rangers in the conference final in 2015 and then went to the Stanley Cup final, Ondrej Palat, I think, had one of the 2 goals in Game 7. To the Avalanche? Yeah, and you can't rule that out, I don't think, because Burakovsky's a free agent, and boy, man, speaking of the Avalanche, Nichushkin got paid. Damn, he basically got $49 million over 8 years. Damn, what an absolute 180 that has been ever since he left the Dallas Stars. That is unbelievable. I'm super stoked for the guy, but damn, he got paid, son. Woo! I thought maybe he would have been on like a 5 by 5.5 or something like that. I'm new to the NHL, and I have chosen a favorite team, but where should I start now? Okay, well, this is a great stream because this will help you figure out which players are on your new favorite team. Who did you end up choosing for your club, by the way? Gonzalo's rolling with the Red Wings for next year. That's profound. All right, so 36% of you say the Red Wings, 46% say the Lightning, but we've got 45 people here, so get those votes in if you haven't already, guys. He can't stay in Tampa. Oh, you have to sign Cirelli, Sergachev, and Chernak. And you know what? I wouldn't want them to lose Chernak. I think he's a good defenseman, and he can be had for a good value. And Cirelli is a terrific defensive forward. I think he's as true of a defensive forward as there is in the NHL. Sergachev, I'm not a big Sergachev fan, honestly. He's got a good skill set, but he doesn't do one thing incredibly well. There isn't like one or two things where he's just super good at that position. I don't know. You chose the Rangers. Oh my gosh. Well, this is certainly a relevant stream for you because they're going to make some difficult decisions. They're going to maybe lose a couple of really good players from this past year, but they could gain another really good player or two as well. So congratulations, by the way, new hockey fan or new NHL fan. Yeah, exactly, Nick, exactly. All right, so we're at 28 votes. Looks like, though, people by small margin have him staying with the Lightning. So you're saying he stays there. Did I make a guess on this? No, I haven't made a guess. I don't know. Palat? Screw it. I'm going to make a random guess. I know we talked about, I think, Giroux earlier. But the thing is that the Kings could use some more punch on the left wing in their top six. Not Kempe's great, but I'm saying like second line. Imagine a second line of Danault, Fiala, and Palat. I don't know exactly how much cap space the Kings have. I'm going to say Ondrej Palat to play with Anze Kopitar and the LA Kings. Random, or kind of a random last second guess, but I'll go with the Kings. Chernak is good at being scary big. Well said. I agree. But I think he's a pretty responsible player in his own zone. All right. All right, hold on a second now. All right, let's go to the next one here. And Ricky, thanks again for the super chat, dude. All right, our next player is going to be Andrew Kopp for formerly at least the New York Rangers. Or does it go back to Winnipeg? I didn't even think about that. I don't know what the hell they were. He was getting better and better in Winnipeg. I mean, the guy can play a good 2C, or at least a second line winger. Kopp. I have no idea where this guy ends up with. I'll say Rangers, Jets. Could he go to the LA Kings? I think that would be pretty killer too, but Kings could use a little bit more punch. I think Palat's got that. Kopp's a good two-way player, absolutely. Oh, Kings only have that much in cap? Thank you for bringing that up. I've liked the moves that Rob Blake has made so far, so I'll hold him to it. All right, shows you how much I know. Kopp to the Blue Jackets. You know, I think that would actually be a pretty cool spot for him to land. Are you picking up what I'm throwing down here, Kyle? Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's a good pick too. Actually, that's a really good pick. He's going to be more affordable than Malkin. You'll still get good term for him, though, I think. 4 or 5 years at least. So Pittsburgh. Columbus. How much cap space? Columbus has 16 plus. 16 million. They need to re-sign Line. Good pick. Yeah, I wouldn't rule that out, Riley. Kopp is a Detroit boy? Interesting. Wow, a lot of you think he ends up somewhere else. Pittsburgh. How many points did he get this season? Probably something around 55. Kopp is... Let's see here. Kopp on the season, he had 21 goals, 32 assists, 53 points in 72 games. So he would have had like 57 or 58 for a full season. Capitals. Interesting. Okay. What's going on here, Nick? Are you saying that Burns, you're setting up a mock trade here for Brent Burns and Patrick Kane? Do I need to go to my Twitter and make sure that this isn't actually happening right now? Do I need to be on my Twitter checking this out? Oh, by the way, guys, I finally actually just saw the tweet from Frank Saravalli saying that Johnny Gaudreau has informed the Flames he will not be returning to Calgary. So I know that you guys had pointed that out earlier. I just didn't know that it was like actually like verified. So I appreciate this. Came down to a family opinion, apparently. All right. That's okay. The Flames can be without him, I think. All right. Oh, it's not a thing. Okay. I was like, what? No. We're rebuilding here. All right. Let's see here. So 38% of you say somewhere else. 23% say Rangers. 23% say Jets. Red Wings. How is the Jets cap situation? I'm gonna look at that right now, actually. Because if they move Dubois out, I think they can make room for Copp, couldn't they? They have $16 million, but they got to sign. Oh, I forgot Appleton was back on their team. They've got Dubois, Svechnikov. Dubois is the big guy. I don't know. I'm gonna say that Andrew Copp ends up on the Jets again. But yeah, you guys like him somewhere else, eh? Is up to some Choo-Choo Train. I think that, yeah, like, I understand that, people are disappointed that certain guys haven't been qualified or, bought out and whatnot. It's like, look, he's making some sort of attempt here to rip off the Band-Aid. So I don't know if this is going to morph into something that we thought we would get as fans, but he just stepped into the role. So I'm just going to sit back and watch. Seems like they're keen on trading Brent Burns, though. All right, here we go. So 37% of you have Copp going somewhere else. And some of you think that he's going to return to the Rangers here. But yeah, we see some Pittsburgh. Yeah, I think Pittsburgh's a good potential spot. You don't think the Jets could afford him? I think that if they moved out Dubois, though, they should be able to, right? I don't know. I just saw that they had $16 million in cap space, so not that they don't have other guys to sign, though. Interesting. Okay. Palat, Kadri, and oh god, that's nothing short of terrifying. Let's see here. So anyway, Copp. So you guys had him somewhere else, but like, though. Yeah, you got a lot of you guys were talking, or some of you guys were talking about Pittsburgh. I think that's a possible landing spot. I say he goes to the Jets. All right. I think the Grew's gonna clear up the cap well. Hopefully. All right. Here, I'm gonna make this one simple for Bergeron. Wait. Oh, I have to end the poll. Excuse me. All right. Let's see here. All right, I'm going to make this one pretty simple for Bergeron. Yeah. Is there any hope in hell that he would sign with the Montreal Canadiens? Or is he... Yeah, or I should have said he'll retire. He has a deal to return. I don't know for sure, actually. Boston or retirement. Stars 2 Hockey, how you doing, man? You're crying? Oh wait, I forget what your favorite team is. Are you a Blackhawks fan or a Flames fan? Because it seems like there's a lot of tears being shed right now over those teams. I'm just throwing out the Habs on kind of a whim here. I'm like, what the hell if this actually happened? So yeah, you guys have him going over there to the Bruins. All right, fair point. That's that. All right, Flames? Really? Oh, you're a Flames fan. I see. Hey, man. What? I mean, he didn't give you that Hart Trophy caliber performance in the postseason. You know. Time for somebody to step up. All right. Bergeron to Boston. Okay. Yeah, that DeBrincat trade. That was sight for sore eyes, huh? If you're a Blackhawks fan. All right. So you guys say he's going to stay in Boston? Okay. Fair enough. I don't know, though. Do I see him actually playing? Or do I see him hanging him up? I don't know. He'd have to play for a new coach. Maybe if Krejci came back, but if Pastrnak got traded, I mean, people were just like, yeah, why would Bergeron even come back? All right. Screw it. I'll say that, yeah. Yeah, I'll say that Bergeron plays another season or two. Sure. Okay. Close out that poll. All right, we got several more players, actually. We've got 5 of them. All right. This is an interesting one here. Hey, how you doing, David? All right, here we go. One more here. All right, next guy is Ondrej Burakovsky. This one's interesting because he wasn't as much of a factor in the postseason, but he had a career-setting year. So I don't think he's going to get the deal that he wants, that he and his agent want. But some team out there is going to be pretty lucky because this guy put up 61 points. So you're still going to get pretty good value for him. All right, so Burakovsky, does he somehow find a way to stay with the Avalanche? I'm going to put the Capitals as an option as well. You know, Burakovsky used to play for the Capitals. I don't know who the hell else, honestly. Where else this guy could play? I'm gonna randomly say. Actually, you know what? Here, we'll put the Devils. Let's say he wants to still hang out in the Eastern Conference. You know, to be where he used to play. All right. Berkey in San Jose. Yeah, it's just man, you got to actually build a team, right? And the thing is I think he's the product of having really good line mates. It's going to be weird seeing Malkin in another jersey. I think so. Jágr did it a few times, though. Caps. 46% say the Avalanche so far. Yeah, I threw the Devils in there kind of as random. But yeah, comment if you see him landing somewhere else. To Florida? Florida will need some help if they're not going to retain Marchment. Like Burakovsky and Lundell on a line together, that would make for a killer third line. So that's a good pick. Calgary, Vegas. Yeah, Vegas could be a possible fit as well. They did re-sign Riley Smith, which does kind of help kind of solidify the top 6. Tampa. Yeah. I could see Tampa because Burakovsky, I mean, if we're going by regular season, you know, Burakovsky is pretty comparable to Palat, but he'll be cheaper. He might want more term, but he'll be cheaper. So I think that's one that you can't rule out as well. I think that maybe he could fit there too. But where did I say Palat was going to end up? I said the Kings. Crazy me. You know, I might actually steal that one from you, Nick. I might do that. So 36% of you say that he's going to stay in Colorado. All right, we got 22 votes. I know we got 36 people tuning in from what I see here. So keep the votes coming in, guys. Man, I gotta get up. I should get up early tomorrow so I can be on my free agency game here. I'm just making sure nothing else here came in through Twitter. Yeah, that's crazy, man, about Gaudreau. All right. Minnesota. Interesting. I know they're kind of entering a bit of a cap crunch. Yeah, you guys are pretty all over the place. But, like, again, that's cool. But, yeah, we only got 22 votes on this one. So, I don't know if I want to close the poll just yet. Let's take a look at Minnesota's cap situation for next year. They have $4.3 million remaining. So, I don't know, guys. I think they're pretty strapped. I can't see them fitting in with the Wild. Not this year. All right. 23 votes, 39%. Okay. All right. Let's go with, so this is Burakovsky. You guys have him fitting in with the Avalanche still. I've got a lingering suspicion. That was a good call out that Nick Cruz made earlier. I think Burakovsky could be a fit for the Bolts. So I'll roll with that. How are we doing there? News reports. Yeah, Burakovsky. There haven't been really that many teams talking or that have been brought up in the Burakovsky camp here. All right, so we'll go to the next one in just a moment here. All right, so we've got for our next player, Ryan Strome. This is another guy, and as we get through these last few players, I don't really understand, or I don't really know what teams they could potentially be interested in. So we've got Ryan Strome. So does he stay with the Rangers? I can't imagine him signing with the Oilers just because they don't really need that so much, so I probably won't include them as an option. I'm going to put the Bruins in here because we haven't really talked about them all that much. Avalanche, yeah, Strome could be a second-line center if they don't keep Kadri. Penguins, actually, you know what, Strome for the Penguins? I'll put that as an option instead of the Avalanche. Do you need to go outside? No? Of course, Cortana gets two 45-minute walks every day, unless I take her to the dog park. But no, baby girl is like, Dad, attention now, please. All right. Chicago for Strome, huh? This is Ryan Strome we're talking about, just to be thorough, not Dylan Strome. To the Kraken. Yeah, they still need a little bit of help at center. For now, right? But then again, Wright and Beniers could be playing next year. But they might be 2 and 3 on the depth chart. Dylan, Ryan, and Matthew. Dylan Strome, Ryan Strome. There's a Matthew Strome? I didn't even know that. Hi. Hi, bossy. Cortana's so bossy. Penguins? Interesting. Oh, to Winnipeg, you're saying? Yeah, I don't think you can rule the Jets out entirely. Who's their new coach? It's Rick Bowness, yeah? You're probably right, Steven. Let's do it. Wait, do I have... Does she have a Kong here? All right. That's a good call out. We'll give her a few of these. Hi. Now, technically, I should still not be giving her these because she had a couple of teeth removed recently. But we're getting her stitches taken out. So, there you go. Good catch, girl. So, yeah, we'll let this slide now. Because we're getting her stitches taken out. Like on Thursday, so It's not far from now. Oh, okay. I hear you, Vinny. Cousin Vinny, what's going on? So 46% of you. We only have 13 votes though. So everybody, make a guess. Make a guess. It's more fun when we have more people weighing in with that. Oscar, you're correct. It is Cortana. Cortana. Figure it out. Sort yourself out. Let's see here. Alright. It's weird, but it's all blurry. Interesting. Good girl. Alright. Yeah, it's crazy how behind you is a hat of the Atlanta Flames. Oh, yeah. I've got all sorts of Easter eggs here in my studio. All right, only 16 votes, but 44% of you like Ryan Strome going to somewhere else other than the... Nobody even picks him to stay with the Rangers. So again, Chicago, Seattle, Bruins. Yeah, I wouldn't rule him out for Boston. Did Strome and Hall play together? That would actually be a pretty good fit, wouldn't it? But they would have Bergeron and Krejci possibly. I still can't see Krejci though coming in as a 2C though after missing a year at his age. I think he's like 36. Her catching abilities are amazing. Yeah, she's 8.5 years old and she's still got it. All right, so. You guys have him going some... Well, the Penguins are kind of close. I don't know. I might be tempted to say Boston for Stromer. Oh. Hiya, Braden. How you doing, man? Sprite knee. Interesting. All right. Okay, now the Penguins are taking over. Okay, we'll say the Penguins. Sure. We'll say the Penguins. Ryan Strome, that is. And I don't know, do I say that he's going to sign with Pittsburgh or Boston? I don't know, what does Boston's cap situation look like? I'm going to get a quick little look at that. Who else do they have besides Bergeron? Lazar... Oh, $2.3 million? Yeah, forget that. No way. All right. I'll agree with you guys. I'll say that Ryan Strome goes to the Penguins too. All right. Cool. All right, now we got 3 more guys left on our list here. So, okay, cool. This one's surprising to me. David Perron. I thought that he would have stayed with the Blues after. You know, he's made 3 separate stints with the Blues, and he was fantastic for them this year. I know some people don't like him for some of the decision making he has away from the play, but numbers don't lie. The guy's a very good player, even at this point in his career. I think he's like 33 years old or something like that. So, does Perron find a way to work things out with the Blues? Do you see him... Has Perron played... Let's see here. I see him forget. I know he played with Vegas before. He has played with the Oilers and the Penguins and the Ducks. Interesting. I'll put the Ducks as an option as well. You know, I know. I said that Giroux would sign with the Oilers, and so would Jack Campbell. I think Perron would be a really good fit back in Edmonton as well. I just can't see him not going to the Blues, but that's just me. He's that integral, but you know, he's older in his career, I think that we can respect him for, wanting to see what else is out there. That's perfectly fine. Boston. Yeah, Boston and Minnesota are pretty strapped for cap right now, from what I see. You feel like he could go to Edmonton? Yeah, I mean, so far, early on in the voting here, 38% of you like him, 36% of you like him with the Oilers. If Ron leaves St. Louis, he'll probably just come back again. You're probably right. Still got some mileage in his career. Red Wings. Interesting. Man, Red Wings are going to be an interesting team to watch next year. You'll get Edvinsson probably in the defensive core with Mo Seider. Working on a long-term extension with Larkin, who had a great year last year. Yeah, Boston would... Oh, God, if they want to win the Cup, they need to do more. I mean, they're going to be really behind the 8 ball with all the injuries that they have. And if they can't bring in Bergeron and Krejci, yeah, I think that could sting. Tampa trades Killorn. Take Perron in Tampa. Play with Maroon again. Yeah, actually, that's not bad. I'm kind of surprised that there hasn't been more trade talk around Killorn. I personally really like Killorn, but... I'm surprised that there wasn't really any information about like an injury that he was facing during the playoffs like there was for some of the other players on that team. I thought Killorn was maybe playing with some sort of terrible injury, but the guy just couldn't find the net. He didn't get that many chances though, But like defensively, he's still a very strong player too. So kind of a weird year for him because regular season, I don't know if he had a career season, but he put up a lot of points still. All right, so at 19 votes, can we get to like 25 votes, guys? Cast your vote. Make a guess. Have some fun. Roll the dice. %35% say Edmonton. But yeah, I think that the prospect of him going to Tampa, I think that's a strong one. If they can't keep Palat or get a guy like Burakovsky, I think that's completely legit. They're moving up. Yes, absolutely, Toria. Things you like to see. The NHL just isn't the same unless the Red Wings are in the playoffs. And I know that people say that about a handful of teams out there, but for me, I started becoming a big hockey fan during the height of the Red Wings sort of dynasty, or at least they were still in the thick of it. Like 2005-06 is when I really got into it. So the Red Wings were a team that I grew up absolutely despising because they had a great rivalry with my Sharks. But they've been out of the playoffs for a number of years. They moved, obviously, to the Eastern Conference. It's like, no, I'm ready to look forward to Detroit Red Wings hockey going forward, McDavid traded for Gritty. I wonder what a possible package would have to be to trade Connor McDavid. It'd have to be like 3. It'd have to be like an offer sheet, like, right? You get like 3 first-round draft picks, your best prospect, and probably, a top 4 defenseman and a middle 6 stud. All right, so we've got 25 votes. That's pretty good, but neck and neck between the Blues and the Oilers. Is somebody going to break the tie for us? I mean, we can have a tie, but that's not nearly as fun. Who is going to break the tie? Blues or Oilers? Red Wings need to go back to the Western Conference. Yeah, I'd like that as well. I mean, I understand why, right? Because you have all 16 teams in the East in the Eastern time zone. It's just a shame that like if we had to move a team from the West to the East in order to make it happen, I would say it would probably make sense for Nashville to move to the East, but I understand why. All right, so here we go. We've got 36% of you saying that David Perron stays with the St. Louis Blues. 29% of you said the Oilers. I say that, yeah, he'll stay with St. Louis. I just can't imagine him somewhere else among kind of the teams we were discussing. Although Tampa, I think Ricky presents a good case for that. Did we do Gaudreau first? Yeah, we did. So Gaudreau, everybody, or the plurality of voters said that he's going to New Jersey. Matt, I strangely have a feeling that Gaudreau could be a fit for the Islanders. I know that it's not exactly the most logical, but I've got a lingering suspicion, sir. Okay. Oh, and you started getting into hockey. Right on, man. When the old court... Oh, man. Lucky you, especially since Lemieux was at the very end of that. Very, very end. And yeah. Speaking of hatred for the Red Wings, God, well, for me it was hatred of both the Red Wings and the Penguins, but I put that behind me, mostly. For firsts and prospects, yeah, probably so. All right, so we've got 2 players left on this list. Yo, let's not forget about my cousin Vinny Trocheck. Trocheck had a terrific season. He's bounced around a couple of teams, but with the Carolina Hurricanes this last year, the 29-year-old, it was his birthday yesterday. He played in 81 games, put up 21 goals and 30 assists for 51 points. That's his best since the 2017-18 season. So, Vincent Trocheck, come on down, brother. Where does he end up signing? So, I'm going to put a couple of ideas here in the chat. Johnny Hockey to LA. Since they already have Fiala playing that same position in the middle six or in the second line, I don't think that will happen. I don't see them wanting to break up the Kopitar, Iafallo, Kempe line. Wait, was that? Oh, you're right. That's Kale. It's Kale. Good one, Rails. Hey, Kale. Great to have you here, man. Hope all is great. Hopefully, within the next year, I'll road trip up to Calgary. All right, so Vincent Trocheck. Let me put some options here in the chat here. I mean, there's some real good suitors out there. Ooh. All right. So does he somehow find a way to stay on the Hurricanes? Does he go to the Bruins? Let's see. What was another sort of option for him? The Red Wings or the Rangers. I mean, shoot. Actually, you know what? I'm going to put the Panthers as one of these two. Well, Panthers, what? Barkov. They have second line's the Huberdeau line. Reinhardt's their center. Like, they can't give up Reinhardt. Like, no, because they already got Reinhardt and Lundell. So, Vincent Trocheck did great in Florida. I don't know if I see him there. So, I'm going to put a couple of options in here. Now, one place I also thought about, I'll be upfront about this, is the Penguins, because Trocheck's actually from Pittsburgh, and I thought that would be a good fit, but I ended up saying Strome would go to the Penguins, so I'll say Trocheck goes somewhere else. Well, hey, thanks for stopping by, Kale. It's great to have you here, man. And, yeah, hope all is terrific with you. Draisaitl needs a place where he can be the best on his team. I mean, I think that often he is the best on the team. Not all the time, but certainly at times. All right, so yeah, man. With Trocheck, you got the Rangers. I put the Bruins here just because of second line center need. I know that their cap space is absolutely horrible, though. So I don't really see it happening. But yeah, Penguins would be another option, I think. Coyotes. I can't see that happening. What about the Dallas Stars for Trocheck? That actually might be a good fit for him. All right, Oscar, have a wonderful slumber, and we'll talk to you again soon. Yeah, Draisaitl already has a Hart Trophy. And I mean, in that conference final, right? He was the best player for Edmonton, right? %40 of you say the Rangers. But yeah, if you guys have other suggestions for this team or for Trocheck, shout them out in the chat. Yeah, I think that one other possible place for him would be Dallas. I should have put that as one of them. The Rangers would be a perfect fit, though. Very possibly. Oh, cap friendly. Yeah, what is the Stars cap situation looking like? $17 million, but who do they have to sign? Jason Robertson. Nemesnikov, he was good there, but they don't need him. And Klingberg. Okay. They've got cap space. I'm going to say that Trocheck goes to the Stars. The best center right now is Jamie Benn. Oh, it's Seguin, right? Because Ben's a winger. But Pavelski plays center. But yeah, I mean, the Pavelski Hintz Robertson line, you don't break that up, right? But the second line needs a lot of help. So, I mean, Trocheck would be an upgrade. Strome would be an upgrade. Kadri, like there are other players too. But yeah, I like Trocheck in Dallas. 19 votes. Oh, what's up, Junie? How you doing, man? $20 votes. Yeah, I was surprised to see that Dallas still has that much remaining in cap because, they've definitely rolled the dice on some like older players out there, guys like Suter, Pavelski, Holtby, even, right? But yeah, they still have a decent chunk of change left over even after they sign Jason Robertson. So I figure it could be a good fit. All right. So yeah, 22 votes, 36% have him going somewhere else. Anybody else have any comments on where you think maybe Trocheck could sign? Okay. I am here. All right, well, I think we'll probably close this one. So nothing really definitive, but one thing's for sure, you guys don't see him staying in Carolina. Although Trocheck still worked out really well for them, and I mean, he was their best forward in the playoffs. I think that's pretty clear. He looked great out there. So I hope that he's able to keep things moving. Our last player here is going to be Evander Kane. So what on planet Earth happens to Evander Kane, does he find a way to stay with the Oilers? Does Evander Kane end up with the Calgary Flames? Does he go to, let's see here, what would be another good spot for Evander Kane? I'm going to do a troll job in the chat here. Or, all right, guys, where does Evander Kane end up? No Sonny Milano? Yeah, I mean, there's only so many players I can include here, so it's the top 15, right? There's a decent drop-off, because even before Milano, we would have to talk about players like Mason Marchment, guy who had 6 points in one game, Evan Rodriguez, Frank Vetrano, Nino Niederreiter, Max Domi, Ilya Samsonov, Phil Kessel, PK Subban, Nick Leddy, Josh Manson, Ben Sherratt, Ilya Mikheyev, Matthias Janmark, Nikita Zadorov, Danton Heinen, Dominic Kubalik, Dylan Strome, Braden Holtby. I mean, like, the list goes on and on, man. Evander Kane to the Sharks. Oh, heaven help us. It's not even because of Kane himself. It's just I don't want the Sharks to have to take on that cap space, because that is literally like how much cap space they have available right now. Maybe that's why they bought out Balsers today, because Greer might not be confident that they can win the case against Kane. Oh, Yona, thank you so much for following me on Instagram, by the way. Seattle. Oh, God. Oilers need Kane as a huge enforcer, especially after they traded Cassian. That's a good point, because they don't really have that many players still on the roster who can kind of serve that role. I mean, look, even when he got into dumb penalty trouble and stuff like that on the ice, I still thought Kane was a great member of the Sharks. Even, in his last season, he was freaking awesome. He was our best player for a whole year. So, I mean, there's no doubt that this guy is still a great talent. It's just that he's such a head case. Arizona? Hey, who knows, man? Who knows? With the Arizona Coyotes. Chicago. So, yeah, still a fair percentage of you guys have him staying in Edmonton. Why would he want to go back? He wouldn't want to go back. It's just that legally he would be bound to San Jose. The Ducks or the Predators? Nashville is kind of the landing spot for guys who like to scrap, so Kane doesn't really fight that much, but he would play that sort of brand of hockey. Anaheim, I think, would be a pretty good fit for him, too. But obviously, this is much more than just Evander Kane. If he signs, wouldn't he drop the case, or what if he... I don't know, Steven. I would think that his new contract would be voided. But there might be some sort of, fee that gets awarded to the team who signed him. I'm not sure. And it sucks, because they were trying to get this done before the free agency period even started. The Sharks wouldn't allow him back. I don't think that they would. Nah, I think Greer would just be like, nope, we're doing a buyout. Who scraps the most on Nashville? I don't know, Borowiecki? Borowiecki, maybe. I mean, just look, you can see the penalty minutes leaders, and usually that will tell the story for you. All right, so with 21 votes so far, you guys think he's going to end up on the Oilers? All right. E-Kane Oilers. Where do I think Evander Kane's going to end up? Oh, I have no freaking clue. What if the Canucks got him if they traded away JT Miller? Which I don't understand why they would do that. You guys can answer that for me in the chat. Why the hell would the Vancouver Canucks trade away JT Miller? He's their best player. But Evander Kane's from BC. Screw it. I'll say Evander Kane. I say they pull it off. I'll say the Canucks. Screw it. I'm doing it. I don't want Evander Kane coming back to the Sharks. Hell no. All right. Send him to Russia. Yeah, I mean, there's a good chance. How do I feel about Gaudreau leaving the Flames? You know, look, sometimes addition happens by subtraction. I'm not the biggest Johnny hockey believer. So, they've got a couple of fair prospects, yeah. And they'll have some cap space to play with if they want. You know, Lindholm is still a fantastic player for them. They can sign Tkachuk to a good deal. I'm not too bent out of shape with Gaudreau leaving the Flames. They're a defensive team first anyway. All right, so let's review what you guys had said actually. Vancouver is great at doing weird things that make them worse. That's a good point. All right, so far in our... Oh, absolutely, Damien. I mean, I love JT Miller. I don't know why the hell they want to trade him. So Gaudreau, you guys have him going to the Devils. I have him going to... I'm going to just say the Islanders for that one. Okay, the next player was Evgeni Malkin. Now, you guys didn't really have a firm belief on Geno Malkin here. Maybe the Capitals. There were a lot of suggestions thrown around, and for good reason. You know, from Colorado to Florida to Detroit. Capitals, right? And I'm going to go out on a limb and say that he goes to the Rangers. The next guy was Nazem Kadri, and both you and I agree that he will return to the Avalanche. The next player was Claude Giroux. You predicted him to go to the Ottawa Senators. I've got a strange suspicion he ends up in Edmonton. And speaking of which, you and I both seem to think that Jack Campbell will head to Edmonton. It seems pretty almost imminent, right? And then there's Darcy Kemper, and as a result of that, we're both pretty much sticking with the consensus out there in the hockey community that he ends up with the Capitals. Then for John Klingberg, y'all said he would go to the Seattle Kraken, who could certainly land a big fish or two in free agency. I think that if the Canes can't trade for Brent Burns, the Hurricanes will sign John Klingberg. Then we had Ondrej Palat, and you guys, a majority or a plurality of you said that he'll stay with the Tampa Bay Lightning. I'm going to say that he signs with the Los Angeles Kings. I know they have no cap room, but I don't know. I just decided to roll the dice with that. Andrew Kopp was the next player. No real consensus here. Some of you think that he'll stay with the Rangers. Pittsburgh was a choice that a couple of you had made as well. I'm going to say that he ends up back where he started with the Winnipeg Jets. Then we had Bergeron, and y'all said he's going to stay with the Bruins. Sure, I'll say that he's not going to retire just yet. He wants to play. He wants to play again. Come on. Then you had Andrei Burakovsky, and I think by a small margin, you predicted him to go to the Colorado Avalanche, to stay there, excuse me. Good suggestion from Ricky. I think that Burakovsky could end up in Tampa. Penguins, we both seem to agree on this one with Ryan Strome. Excuse me. I made my sentence backwards there. It was almost an astrophe. But yeah, we think that Strome is going to end up in Pittsburgh. That's a good spot for him. Then David Perron, a small margin of victory here for those of you who think he's going to stay with St. Louis. I can't see him going somewhere else over the Blues. I think that's just home for him. Trocheck. Now, some of you thought maybe the Rangers, but most of you said he's going to end up somewhere else. A couple of you agreed with what I had to say in that he would be a really good fit for the Dallas Stars. And lastly, Evander Kane. If anything, you guys, if he ends up on a team, you guys said it's going to be Edmonton. I think it's going to be Vancouver. I'm going to throw it out there and say that he signs. If the Oilers can't give him the contract that he wants, then he'll take a hometown discount for sort of a tryout with the Vancouver Canucks. Number 55 is Mark Scheifele, yes. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. I had a good time talking free agency with you guys. And for all we know, maybe we'll do either a live stream or I'll put out a video or two tomorrow, depending on where some of those big fish land. So if you have to peace out, I understand. I just request that you do leave a thumbs up before you go. And if anybody's new here, I hope you had a good time with us. Please do join our community forever. Hit the red subscribe button down below and stay tuned as we cover free agency through the offseason and other big stories in the National Hockey League. So I'll stick around for a bit if you guys want. We can talk about some other free agents possibly, but that kind of concludes the program for the time being. So I'll hang out, and if y'all want to still talk, I might entertain that idea. So let's turn off the display capture. Bam. All right. Whoop, now we can move this back to its usual spot, more or less. Now there's my microphone. Yeah, the picture microphone. There we go. All right. Whoops. There. And it's not obstructing me. Ooh, lower third. We want to put the lower third up here. Up in the corner. How about that? Booyah. All right. Nos vemos. All right. See you later, Gonzalo. Have a good night, dude. Good. I'm glad you guys had a good time with that one. Right on. So, yeah. Tomorrow's going to be a wild day. Oh, shoot. I almost quit out of my streaming software. I didn't mean to do that. I'm going to quit out of this window here. There we go. So, yeah. What other free agents do you guys want to talk about? There are a lot of players that we left out. Or we could talk about, restricted free agents or something of that ilk, of course. But I do see some folks are dropping off here, and that's completely acceptable. If Evander Kane goes to the Sharks. Yeah, oh God. That would probably be me actually, like, making a legitimate rant on my channel. Well, shoot. For an hour or two, wherever Gino signs. Yeah, I mean, he was always kind of like a second fiddle, right? I know he's won a Hart Trophy before. But yeah, as somebody who hasn't watched the Penguins like you have, I don't necessarily understand just how much of a legacy Malkin's leaving behind in Pittsburgh. But yeah, when you think about the greatest to ever wear that jersey, it's Lemieux, it's Crosby, and it's Jagr and Malkin, right? That's huge, man. Like the Mount Rushmore of the Pittsburgh Penguins, if you focused on their four greatest players of all time, those are probably the guys. I know Paul Coffey had a stint there as well, and you can talk about Fleury because he has 3 Stanley Cups, and Letang, and even guys like Kunitz, right? Cam Talbot going to Ottawa. Good question. I don't understand why Bill Guerin did what he did with his goaltending. And this goes back to the Kakinen trade, which was good for them in that they got Jake Middleton, who's panned out really well and just got extended. So I'm really happy for him. But Talbot was the better goaltender in the second half and should have started the playoffs. And Fleury looks very different than his Vezina Trophy season the year before. I hope he works out. I do, but I don't like them kind of leaving Talbot high and dry. However, at least now Talbot can be a number one in Ottawa, so, or at least for the time being. So I think Talbot's going to hopefully play at the same level he did down the stretch for the Wild. Nobody has traded William Nylander. Yeah, I didn't really hear any big trade talks about Nylander, but it seems to be like a perennial affair where you have those murmurs after they exit the playoffs, and you're like, oh, there's a big shakeup that needs to come, and like Nylander is usually at the top of that list for players who need to be traded, unless it's Marner, and there just wasn't anything out there that was substantial, I don't think. The best built besides Tampa Bay and the Avalanche? That's a good question. I mean, I'm a huge believer in Carolina, although after this exit in the playoffs, the way that they went out, I am a little bit skeptical. I still like the way that they've put their team together, so they still get kudos in my books. I think that the Blue Jackets could be one of those teams in maybe 2 years. Just a team that, again, kind of like Carolina, doesn't rely on one guy to put the puck in the net. And, in terms of defense and goaltending, they do have some good assets out there. So I think that that's something to be appreciative of. I really was high on the Blues this year. I had them going to the final. I still think that their roster is still pretty well constructed. They'll get Torrey Krug back. I'd like to see what Scott Perunovich is capable of doing for a full season. If Binnington can be at the top of his game, St. Louis can still have that cup window open as well. Let's see here. Yeah, but there was nothing came of Willie Nylander. I'm trying to think if there was another player out there. Like Pasternak, that was another interesting one where toward the end of the playoffs there, right, his name was coming up in potential trade rumors and whatnot, but nothing ever since last couple of weeks, really. Swag. Yeah, whatever happened to the word swag? We don't use swag anymore. We talk about drip. What a weird word. I don't know, man. Swag is actually, I don't know. I might need to bring swag back. You wish that they made an offer for Heinen? They might be able to get him in free agency for a better price. Oh, so in other words, they wanted to avoid arbitration. I see. Yeah, let's take a look at Danton Heinen. He had one of the game-winning goals in the playoffs this year, yeah? I think he did, right? Was it an overtime game? Danton Heinen, okay. That's his best season since 2018-2019. But this was his career high in goals. He had 18 goals on a third line. That's ridiculously good. So, hopefully he can get a good contract, but one that's not going to break the bank. Nylander's probably not going anywhere. I mean, like last year in the playoffs, right? Wasn't like Nylander their best player, their best forward among the big four? So, at least Marner and Matthews showed up this last round. I'm not so sure about how much longer Tavares is going to be, a key contributor for that team, though. The player that I hate most, Kane to the Avs. The player that I hate most, who do I hate most these days? Creating content on YouTube definitely makes me hate players less. There are definitely players out there who I don't like that that people somehow like overwhelmingly defend on Twitter. Now, not every player, but a lot of players have done dirty shit through their career, right? But I think that sometimes we forget about them because of how the media sort of portrays them. For example, I look, I've seen him interviewed off the ice and everything. I think like Zdeno Chara is an excellent dude. I think he's I think he's a Hall of Famer no matter what. But he's still done some real dirty stuff in his career. So I'm not saying that he is the answer to that question, but I kind of think about my sort of opinions on players a little bit differently as a creator. But anyway, my least favorite, like who do I loathe? Sharks fans do not like David Perron. I don't hate him, but I understand why people don't like him. Dustin Brown. Damn it, it would have been Dustin Brown. Dustin Brown hands down, but now he's retired, so I can't say it. Yeah, I'm surprised that Danton Heinen had 18 goals. That's something else. Tom Wilson. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people would say Tom Wilson as well. I used to kind of defend the guy. No, I can't really defend him anymore. You know, Marchand used to be at the top of that list for me, but he's really settled down the last couple of years. Not that I don't think he can't be annoying, because he can be, but he's kind of like you need him. The NHL needs him for sure. D'Angelo. Yeah, D'Angelo is a bit of a tool at times, but you know, he mostly kept his mouth shut for the Hurricanes, but he got into trouble in the playoffs. Reeves. Yeah, for me, Reeves is sort of up there as well. I used to kind of like him, and then I was like, why does everyone just completely going gaga over him? I mean, he's not that different than Pat Maroon or somebody else like that, but I'm okay with him, I guess. Anyway. Yeah, Tom Wilson, though, man. You would hope that the next dirty hit he throws, you know he's going to do another one. You would hope that gets him half of a season. You would hope. He's like Gord, but very skilled. Yeah, for real. Like Brad Marchand should be a Hall of Famer. Junie, I think I've answered that for you before. I don't watch NAHL. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap this one up, all right? So, like I said, I might actually have content tomorrow on the channel. If it's a real big story out of Sharks camp, I would probably go live for that, or at least make a video. So, definitely make sure, if you haven't already, hit the notification bell. That way you know when I'm uploading or when I'm going live, because I can't always guarantee that something like this is going to be scheduled. But if I don't go live tomorrow, then I will be sure to set a stream up for next week, like, for example, next Thursday or something like that. So we'll get another live stream up. Of course, I have other ideas for videos in the works, and I want to certainly get more feedback from you guys on what sort of content you want on the channel. So yeah, stick around. We'll have a lot more fun conversations around the off season and other sorts of great conversations to be had about things like hockey history, a little bit about jerseys, I'm sure, all that good stuff. So guys, have yourselves a great night. And thanks for tuning in for this one. All right. Catch you guys later. Good night.